One of the things a coach must understand about human nature is personality. When you understand your own personality, you understand the personality of the people that you're coaching, you're going to be a way better coach. So, what is personality? Well, personality is the combination of sort of the innate tendencies that a person has, what they're born with, as well as the patterns that they develop as they go through life. Patterns for how they think, how they feel, how they respond, how they behave. And so personality is sort of this predictable, way that people show up and experience the world. And you need personality. Otherwise, you're always trying to figure out how you're going to respond, how you're going to react, how you're going to think and feel. So you need this sort of patterned way of experiencing the world. And by understanding your personality, you can understand what's working for you and what's kind of not working for you. So you can be more intentional instead of just flying according to your autopilot. Well, so one of the best ways to understand human personality is the big 5-factor personality model. There are assessments that go with this model, but in this video, I just want to describe the model very quickly. So there are these 5 big factors for understanding human personality. What are the big 5 factors? Well, an easy acronym to remember these is OCEAN. OCEAN. Yes, I spelled that correctly. OCEAN. So each of the big 5 gets a letter. So let's start with the O. O is for openness. How open is a person? People who are high in openness, they're open to new experiences, new ideas, new challenges. They love to take on something new. They tend to be more creative. They also tend to be more comfortable with abstract ideas and concepts. People who are low in openness, well, they're not so cool with change. They're not that open to new ideas. They're more like comfortable with the way things already are. And they're not that cool with abstract concepts and theoretical things. They're more into the practical, the tangible, and they're just not that imaginative. So everybody is somewhere on the scale. It's not that you're open or not. It's how open are you? And so that's what the big 5-factor model really describes is there are these 5 and you're somewhere on the scale of how high or low in each of these. And so the second of the 5 factors is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness. It's easy to say, it's hard to spell. People who are high in conscientiousness, they're organized. They spend time preparing and planning and getting their ducks in a row, and they put things where they belong, and they use their time well to focus on their priorities. They like having a set schedule. They stick to the schedule. People who are lower in conscientiousness, they're a little messy. They're messy with their time. They're messy with their space. They're probably going to have a messy office, a messy desk, a messy kitchen, a messy car. They don't put things back where they belong. They don't manage their time all that well. They just don't come across as all that responsible. And so sometimes they can fail to follow through and carry out some assigned tasks. So think about yourself. How high or low or somewhere in between are you when it comes to conscientiousness? The E in the model stands for extroversion. This is the one you're probably the most familiar with. People who are high in extroversion, they like people, they're sociable, they reach out to others, they maybe have a lot of acquaintances, they get energy from being around other people. They also tend to process out loud. That is, they can speak before they think, or they can speak in order to think. They need to talk it out to really get an idea out of their head. People who are lower in extroversion, or what we sometimes think of as introverts, well, they're not going to prefer to be around other people. They're going to prefer more solitude. They prefer to kind of live in their world of their own head, their own ideas, or they enjoy connecting with just a handful of really good, close, tight-knit friends. They don't like being the center of attention, and do not ask them to brainstorm. They don't like to speak without really thinking things through carefully. They want to get all their ducks in a row mentally before they let those ducks fly verbally. So Where are you? Or how high, low, or in the middle are you when it comes to extroversion? The fourth factor in the Big Five model is agreeableness. This is basically how well do you get along with other people? How cooperative are you? People who are high in agreeableness, they like other people. They go out of their way to be empathetic, to help others, to assist them. They want to help other people kind of get their way. They enjoy making other people happy. They're interested in other people. They take notice of other folks. People who are low in agreeableness, they don't really pay that much attention to other people. They're not that empathetic. They're just not that interested. By the way, it's not that they dislike people. It's just that they don't really think about others that much. And so they're low in empathy. And by the way, sometimes they can come across kind of brash, kind of harsh, because they're just not really considering the other person. They're not so emotionally intelligent, you might say. The final factor in the Big Five factor model is neuroticism, neuroticism with an N. So people who are high in neuroticism, they're kind of moody. They're a little bit emotionally unstable. And by emotionally unstable, I don't mean in a debilitative or mental illness kind of way. I just mean they tend to have more ups and downs mood-wise. They tend to be more emotionally reactive. And they can feel anxious and stressed a bit more. And they tend to bounce back less quickly from an emotionally stressful experience. So it takes them longer to recover from a stressful episode. People who are low in neuroticism, they tend to be emotionally stable. They're kind of even kilter. They tend to be more relaxed. So they don't experience nearly as much stress or anxiety or depression. And they can bounce back pretty quickly from a challenging episode. So you look at these five and you think, okay, everybody is somewhere on each of these scales. And you might think, hey, I know which end of each scale I want to be. After all, who wants to be low in neuroticism? Or actually, I'm sorry. Who wants to be high in neuroticism? It seems like who wants to be emotionally unstable? Well, just think about it. You may not want to be too low in this one either, because then you could be emotionally distant, emotionally cold, overly stoic, unaccessible to other people. Similarly, you might think, well, who wants to be low in agreeableness? Wouldn't everyone want to be agreeable? After all, we've had 30 years of, emotional intelligence telling us be agreeable. But just think about it. If you're too agreeable, you could be a people pleaser. You could be a pushover. You might not be assertive enough. And so there's not necessarily one great place to be on each of these. Although generally speaking, people who are kind of, mid to high in all of them, except for neuroticism, there you want to be kind of mid to low. They're going to tend to move through life a little more easily. But each and every one of us has a personality kind of blind spot, hang up, hiccup, things that trip us up. And so as a coach, when you understand personality, your own as well as that of your clients, you can better serve the people that you coach by helping them move through life more successfully. Because just because you have a pattern of personality doesn't mean it's a prison for you. It means it's going to take a little extra intentionality from you to learn and grow and overcome some of your personality sort of, I hate to call them defects, but, everybody's got some personality, again, hang-ups. It's also going to allow you to make the most of your personality, because most of what's going on for your personality, they're strengths. They're ways that if you could kind of get with the flow of your personality and work with it, it can really serve you well in life. So understanding personality, understanding yours as well as that of your clients, man, it helps you serve them well. Helps you support them in moving forward on their agenda in life and in work. Hey, by the way, Brian Miller and I have recently recorded an e-course on 5 assessments that every coach needs to know about and use One of those 4 assessments is the Big 5 personality assessment. And so we walk through it at a much deeper level, talking about what it is and how you can leverage it as a coach. Hope you'll check out that e-course. There's a link for it in the description of this video. And I think it's going to really serve you well as you serve your clients really well. Thanks for joining us for this video. As always, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss any of our fantastic content. Thanks.